Caran, the eye shade. These oil pastels, at the time when I first bought them, about 2 years ago, were actually the most expensive oil pastels I've ever bought. And because I'm lazy, I'm finally reviewing them. Now, at first glance, I thought these were really nice. The color selections seemed pretty good. And of course, I gotta do my little hand swatch because I just want to test it out. The pigment looked good. The pigment was nice. I did notice that these oil pastels were really small. They were just not girthy at all. I always thought these were gonna be like a Mungio or something chunkier, but these were more like a Pentel. A little disappointed because these are expensive. Oh my gosh, I think I spent like about $120 on this pack. But anyways, this is the color comparison to Mungio. So I put down some Mungio and then that's the Caran. As you can see, the Caran is a lot more. Ooh, just has a lot more oomph to it. Mind you, this is not the same color or pigment, but you get the idea. But enough of the swatch and stuff because you guys know I don't like to do that. This is going to be a test on a real drawing. I'm going to be drawing something for you guys. Can you guys guess what I'm going to be drawing today? Just do a little guess before I show you. Also, this is the blue that I'm going to start off with. Of course, y'all, this is going to be a brand new experience with these oil pastels. So I have to do a self-portrait. But let me shut up so I can let y'all sit back and relax. And I'll talk to you guys soon. So I would say around this point in time, I was realizing that some of these colors were not opaque at all. Some of these colors were fairly translucent, and it was a little hard to get used to because I am used to a more soft oil pastel, but not only that, something that is more opaque. To be honest, it was just pissing me off because I couldn't really get a good blend. And listen, it also could be because I'm a little rusty at oil pastels. I'm myself to blame for that. But some of these were a little gummy. I'll mention this later on too, but it was at this point where I realized that some of these oil pastels were actually a different style of label. It looked like some of these were in the old style or old Caran label, and some of them were newer. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Uh, Maybe someone could help me figure it out in the comments because I noticed that some of the older looking wrapping, those pastels didn't perform as well. But that could also just be in my head. But whatever. I'll let y'all watch. The nose is usually one of my favorite things to work on in a portrait, but I knew something was up. I spent 2 hours trying to perfect this damn nose, only to realize that I was completely off. The nose was way too high up and it looked wrong. It just looked wrong. And listen, I am not a realistic art person. It's just not my style. But when something looks off and wrong, it's gonna look off and wrong, whether it's abstract, realism, whatever, right? If you, the artist, think it doesn't look right, then it doesn't look right. So I pretty much just scraped off all that hard work and lowered the nose. I also fixed the lips, and thank God I did because I didn't realize how bad the lips look as well. But I guess that's the price you pay when you don't grid things out, when you don't measure, and when you don't trace. You just get these little mistakes. But honestly, I love them. I love these little mistakes because it's helping fix my eye to fix proportions. I don't know, but this is the before and after. Look at the difference. Do you see that difference? We are almost done with this portrait, but I do have to mention the scratchy scratch ability in these oil pastels surpassed my expectations. I will say the scratchy scratch ate. These in fact do layer well. The darks do layer well over the light colors, and you can scratch them away, and it reveals like a really nice whatever color you put underneath. My original plan was to approach the hair a different way and make it a little bit more texture with like curly cues flying out. Like my face is wild. My hair, I wanted it to be also a little wild, but I kind of copped out because I was kind of over this portrait, especially with working on the nose for 2 hours and then having to erase all that work and then redo it. Yeah, it was just a lot, and I went the easy way out. Nothing wrong with that. I did a lot of scratchy scratch. I haven't done a little scratchy scratch in a long time, so. But the portrait is almost done. I'll let y'all finish watching, and I'll save my final thoughts for the end. Scratchy scratch. Damn. Sorry I had to do it, but at what cost? You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Hi. The drawing is done, and it's time for my final thoughts. Caran Dash. Caran Dash. Very expensive. Very fancy oil pastels. What do I think about these? Let me talk about the pros and the cons. Let's start with the pros. I made some notes. The first pro, in my opinion, would be that they're very pigmented. These are very highly pigmented oil pastels. You can really tell. I might be wrong on this, but sometimes when I'm using higher quality oil pastels, you almost see a sheen, like a shine. In my experience using higher quality oil pastels, I feel like I've seen a sheen. It almost looks like you're actually using oil paint for a drawing. I would say another pro to these oil pastels is the fact that they're a little hard. They keep their shape when you're using them. Oil pastels like Chanelier, they're very rich and pigmented, but also they're very soft. They're like a soft butter. You can create a lot of texture. These you really can't unless you're damn near breaking the oil pastel. The texture buildup with these are not good. If you're looking for an oil pastel that you want a lot of texture, this is not the one. However, I do like that they're hard because they last a lot longer. You could use them for a long time and still get that vibrant color you want without using half the stick. Now let's get into my cons of these oil pastels. And in my opinion, one of the biggest cons to these oil pastels is the fact that it is so hard to try and get the damn wrapper off these oil pastels, which was not only annoying and time consuming, but it was so hard to do because I don't know what they make this titanium paper out of. Maybe you just need longer nails, but it was a bitch. And a surprising con to these oil pastels was the fact that I would say about 30% of these were not that translucent. And that could be due to the fact that these are high in pigment, so less binder, less filler. You don't get that chalky opaqueness with these. But because these are harder oil pastels, they don't layer that well. Because some colors are great for like tinting an area instead of like really full on putting a color there, because these are hard and some of them are translucent. I'm used to layering and not really tinting an area. There was actually one color in particular that was borderline unusable. It was this one. This one is pink. It was the pink. It's gummy. It was gummy. It couldn't be layered. It couldn't be dragged. It just kept on gumming up the surface. I tried multiple times to use this one. It's unusable in my opinion. I was shocked at how thin they were for the price you get for them. The price point, not my favorite. The thickness, the girth was not there for me. Ooh, and another thing I forgot to mention, they do flake. They do have little crumbs that when you're trying to blend, but because these are high quality oil pastels, they are still a little sticky. The crumbs started sticking to the sticky pieces and I couldn't wipe it off without smearing. It was not a good combo. With all that being said, this is a good set. The colors are great. The variety is great. The consistency of the textures of these oil pastels are not the best in my opinion, but that could be due to the fact that it's different pigments and different amounts of binders and fillers in probably each and every one of these. What I was confused about is why is there two different wrappings? Why do I have two different wrappings on these? It almost feels like I got a leftover box of like oil pastels, like they just threw in whatever colors they had on hand, whether they're old or new, because some look like they have the old packaging and some look like they have a newer packaging. I don't know. And that concludes my rant. I wish I liked them more. They're great oil pastels. I could tell they're high quality. They just did not scratch that itch that I thought they would. I thought they were gonna have a little bit more texture to them and less crumble and be able to blend and layer a little bit better. Didn't meet my expectations with how expensive they were. And that's probably why I'm being so critical, because these are expensive. These are so expensive. Anyways, enough of me yapping. I do believe you should try these out if you have the money, if you can afford to. If not, I'll probably do some more research. You might be able to find a better dupe of these. But if you have these oil pastels, or if these are your tried and true and you love them, let me know your opinion. But I'm not done. Caran actually sent me a box that it has stuff in it. In this box is something brand new that Caran just released. These are the brand new wax oil pastels. Are they oil pastels or are they wax pastels? Are they crayons or are they oil pastels? We shall find out. Now down below, please let me know if you would like a review on these. If not, I'm probably just gonna make a video for my Patreon. But yeah. Thank you so much, Caran. Mind you, this is not sponsored. They just sent me a little gift. I bought this with my own money. So if you would like to see me use this brand new product from Caran, let me know down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, please let me know down below. And if you have any suggestions on what I should do next, also let me know down below. I hope to be posting more videos soon. And my studio is coming along nicely. And I might even do a little studio tour. I'm gonna leave now. I'll see y'all in the next video.